House Bill 148, an act relating to mental illness. Representative McCoy.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Nelson 50 for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Nelson for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 148 simply says that a defendant who, at the time they commit the crime, has a documented history of a serious mental illness will not be subject to the death penalty. And I just want to point out a couple of things. Number one, they will still be punished. This is not an insanity defense, not taking away that. They will go to jail for life without the possibility of parole. We're just removing the death penalty for this small segment. The 5 enumerated diseases are very serious. Each one of them is the maximum in their category. And finally, Mr. Speaker, this came out of the Judiciary Committee with 16 yes votes, and the gentleman from Todd raised some questions, and I believe we satisfied those. But as a part of that discussion, if the clerk would report House Floor Amendment 1.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 148.
Gentleman from Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In House Floor Amendment 1, the gentleman from Todd and I were discussing the fact that this decision about whether or not a defendant falls within this category has to happen within 10 days of trial. Both of us being trial lawyers know that's a ridiculously short time, very close to the actual trial. And so if we're going to save any money for the state by not having to jump through the hoops of the experts, that decision probably needed to be made a lot sooner. This type of case is usually set for 18 months down the road, so there's plenty of time. So House Floor Amendment 1 simply moves the time period back to 90 days before trial in order to make the determination in the hopes that we can save the state a little more money. I move for passage of House Floor Amendment 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Nelson.
Mr. Speaker, I move passage of House Bill 148 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1.
Question.